In her introduction, the most important part was father, husband, grandfather, followed by the service that I've given to the community. And that's what I take more pride in than the Emmys, than the Star on the Walk of Fame, than the longest running black man on television. What's more important is the only reason I've achieved any of those things is because of you all that support me.
Valley Marketing is the one-stop shop.
Hi, and my name is Sasha Perea. I was Miss Washington, D.C. in 2021 and also top 6 at Miss Grand Columbia. And today I am at the 7th annual Polo Jazz event here at the beautiful Congressional Polo Club. I'm very excited to be the Latina MC opening up today's event. So
let's go ahead and give another round of applause for the Black Mental Health Alliance.
Hi, this is Antea Marie. I'm here at the 7th Polo and Jazz, and I am so proud of Susan Smallwood. She is the grandest of the grand, honey. She put all this together despite of the elements, and it is super fabulous. You wouldn't expect anything less from Susan Smallwood, and I love her to pieces.
Judge in Detroit against all odds 15 years after coming out of jail, and folks quite often ask, including some of the attorneys here, well, how did you do it, Judge? How do you become a judge? How do you get on TV? How do you da-da-da-da? Well, it's not because of your suit or your dress. It's because of service. If you serve your community, they'll love you back and they'll support you. So that's the role I love most. And she has followed in my footsteps. This last week at the Mathis Community Center that we have in Detroit, Jay gave an expungement expo in the city of Detroit. And believe me, we have hundreds and thousands of people in Detroit who needed their records expunged. So give her a hand for her community service. That's what we're about. We're about community service. And that's why I'm so proud when she decided to take up the mantle of advocacy, not just because she has been challenged with and overcome her obstacle, but we want to inspire others. And so it is, we're here today, and I want to inspire each and every one of you to assist the Black Mental Health Alliance and the Latinas for Tomorrow in advocating for moving our communities, black and brown communities forward, but particularly in mental health. You all should know that the stigma that we attach in our community to people who seek and are being treated for mental health has really placed us in a position behind those who might otherwise get the treatment. I use the term all the time, and you all keep it down. I'm gonna be done in a minute. Those who anybody that keeps talking, that's the crackhead in the audience. All crackheads keep talking. All crackheads keep talking. So, the mental health advocacy that you give and that you would advocate for will help save many of our children and keep them out of prison. I use the term that the privileged kids go to counseling, our children go to prison. Why is that? Many instances we don't have the resources, and that's where Black Mental Health Alliance comes in. They've trained hundreds of mental health experts to serve our community. And so you can either go and visit your child at the school and take your child to the counselor, take your child for treatment, or you can go and visit 18 years later, 200 miles down the road to the federal and state penitentiary. Make it your choice. I suggest that you visit your child and take your child to counseling if you see behavior that is different than that which we expect. Thank you all. Please continue your service to the community because we're all in this together. Thank you.
I'm at the Congressional Polo Club with an all-black polo team. which I feel like is really unique, very rare to see. So, could you all share with me how you got involved in polo and what it means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I got into polo through a combination of my family, and also they'd ridden horses more like Western style cowboys and stuff from Texas. And then it solidified for me to play polo. Went on to Buenos Aires on a business trip, and I thought, hey, this is super dope, and I got into the sport. And I've been playing about 5 years since then.
So I love horses. I fell in love with horses at an early age here in Washington, D.C. And, you know, through the passion of riding and being around horses, I wanted to do something that black people weren't supposed to do, and that's polo. It's called the king sport. And I think that by playing polo, it exposes us to people and things that we otherwise would never be able to do. So that's what I love about it. Been playing about 15 years.
And could you share your story as well?
So I grew up, I was fortunate enough, my mother had a horse when I was a little kid, and it was like the best thing that me and my brothers and sisters did all summer is ride the horse, and I really just loved horses. So, like you said, it starts with the love of horses, and then I got into polo because I love competitive sports, and so polo was an outlet for me to combine an athletic, like challenging thing with horses.
Now, Miguel, you mentioned that this isn't something that black people are normally seen doing, right? So how do we increase diversity in polo, and what do you think polo can teach the minority community?
Well, by doing the things that we're doing, like these guys, you know, support everything that we do in terms of events like this. People seeing us do it, they'll go back and say, hey, you know, maybe my granddaughter or maybe my son or daughter would like doing this. All our kids can't be professional ball players, but we have some potentially great professional polo players that live in the hood. We got to go get those kids and show them and expose them to, so they have opportunities to do certain things like that.
Okay, so I feel like everything that we do in life teaches us a lesson. So what is the biggest lesson and the biggest takeaway that you've received from polo personally? Who wants to go first?
I'll take that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, so with polo, with my own horses, I think the greatest thing that I've learned is patience. And that patience basically equates to love. And when you think about patience, that you take that from not just your horses, you take that on the field and then off the field as well. So it makes you patient with your community, it makes you patient with the world and with yourself. So I think that's the greatest lesson I've learned.
That's powerful. So patience is the first lesson. We're going to welcome our other polo player as well. We're going to also welcome our other polo player from this team. Right now we're asking, what is the biggest lesson and the takeaway that you've received from polo, and what has it taught you in life?
How to compete, how to go after what you want, push the line, go hard against your competitors, and then do clean winning.
Amazing.
Yep.
So far we have patience, we have how to compete. Miguel, what has it taught you?
I'm sorry?
What has polo taught you?
Well, I think that one thing polo has done for me that other sports don't do is open doors. It opened doors because in polo we meet guys who run companies, guys that sit on boards, a lot of influential people. If you look at these guys, you know, he's an engineer, you know, he's an attorney. It opens doors and creates opportunities like no other sport.
All right, and last but not least, what has polo taught you and how has that played an influence in your life?
I think the great thing about polo is the people you meet. Like these people from all these different backgrounds and countries and socioeconomic areas, they come together and they're connected by the love of horses and this game. And it's like a addiction to a lot of people, right? So like you just meet people and you bond over that, and you might not have anything else in common, but you're like immediately welcomed into communities everywhere in the world because you share this one common interest.
Amazing. So you guys hear it here first. We have an all-black polo team learning so many different values and things that are transferable in life. This is only the beginning. I am here with James Oxley from Oxley Realty Services. Now you are the title sponsor of this incredible event today. Can you share with me what that means to you?
This is incredible. It's a visionary of Susan Smallwood. This is my second year being a title sponsor, and it's just incredible to help someone else to bring their dreams to fruition.
Absolutely. That is very powerful, and I know that you had a powerful message on stage. You shared a little bit about your background and your story and what really connected you with the mental health movement that is going on. Do you feel comfortable sharing a little bit more about that with the audience?
Sure. So in January 6th of 2022, our 15-year-old biological son, I was married for 24 years, we were together 27 years. Our 15-year-old biological son had a mental breakdown. He came into the family room while we were fasting and relaxing. He shot and killed my wife in front of me. He shot and killed my 8-year-old son. And when I realized what was going on, I jumped to try to stop him, and he shot me twice. Shortly after that, one of my younger brothers died of a fentanyl overdose. That's my mother right there. And then just not too long, a couple of weeks ago, in Oxon Hill, the double murder of the Oxley boys, Charles and Lamont, they were just murdered by some ambush. And that was, I believe, that was due to domestic violence. My nephew didn't want to be involved with the person anymore, and she had him set up and had him killed at a young age. So we got to go to that funeral. So it's God that's keeping me together and teaching me how to cope and how to minister to other people, because it's not about me, because life be lifing. So we got to keep moving, because it doesn't stop. And the more we can get out here and help others to cope with life and tragedies, the better we can come together. We have to desensitize mental illness, because it's a norm, right? And we have to desensitize that and not make it a taboo anymore. And I think the more people can come out and share their mental illness or what they're going through, we can all come together and help each other with the love of God.
Absolutely. And I applaud you so much for your resilience and your strength, because that is honestly unimaginable. But you're here today and you're still encouraging so many people in the community. So what would you say is your biggest source of strength and your biggest piece of advice for someone who may be going through that level of adversity?
So for me, and it always has been, 2007 I was hit by a roadside bomb in Iraq and survived it. So for me, it's God. He's been protecting me my whole life. Jeremiah 1:5, he said, I knew you when you were in your mother's belly, and I ordained you a prophet to the nation. Jeremiah 29:11 said, I know the plans that I have for you, said the Lord, plans to help you, prosper you, and not to harm you and give you an expected end. And also to learn how to cope with it. I have PTSD for the military, and to help others. That's my biggest strength, to help others to get through it. That's my joy, to see somebody else can come out of what they... I've had people come to me and say they want to commit suicide until they heard my story. And they say, now I can live because I see how you living.
Well, I applaud you so much. Honestly, you are a testament of strength and resilience. And I know you're going to impact so many people. You're an incredible sponsor here for today's event. And I know this is only the beginning for what you have in store for your future. So God bless you, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you.
Rally marketing